You wake up, and your body feels just a little heavier than it used to. Not broken, not yet, but different. More tired. Maybe your joints greet you before your mind does. You stretch hoping for ease, but find stiffness instead. And if you're honest with yourself, sometimes you wonder where all that energy went, the kind that used to carry you through days without needing a mid-afternoon nap, the kind that made you feel unstoppable, even when life threw its usual curveballs. It's not just your body that changes as time passes. It's the way you look at the world. You start to notice friends slowing down. Some are gone now, and in those quiet moments, maybe while sipping coffee alone or watching the sunset from your porch, you ask yourself, how do I want to age? Not just survive, but truly live? There's a deep unspoken power in asking that question, because once you do, you realize something beautiful. Aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean wisdom, strength, clarity, peace. And what if I told you that some of the answers, real, tangible ones, lie not in expensive supplements or miracle pills, but in the very drinks you already have in your kitchen? Because there are certain drinks that don't just hydrate, they heal. And others that, though familiar, might be quietly working against you. So today we're going to talk about 4 drinks you absolutely must be having after 65. And 4 you should avoid like they were yesterday's news. Let's take this journey together, gently, honestly, and with the kind of care you've earned over a lifetime. As we grow older, certain truths settle into our bones, not just physically, but emotionally. We learn that independence is precious. That joy often lives in the small moments. Laughter around the dinner table, holding a grandchild's hand, or simply being able to get up from a chair without hesitation. But what happens when those simple joys start slipping through your fingers? It might begin subtly, like forgetting why you walked into a room or feeling winded after climbing a flight of stairs. Maybe your knees ache more than they used to, or your heart seems to race unexpectedly. These aren't just signs of getting older, they're signals. Whispers from your body asking, are you still listening to me? And here's the truth. Many of these changes don't have to happen. Not at this speed, not with this weight. Because how we age is not written in stone. It's shaped by the choices we make every single day. And one of the most powerful tools we have, something so simple it's easy to overlook, is what we drink. Every sip matters. What you pour into your body can either support your strength, clarity, and vitality, or quietly chip away at them. Some drinks nourish your heart, protect your memory, and give your joints the love they deserve. Others, they sneak in sugar, inflammation, and fatigue disguised as refreshment. This isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about making choices that honor the life you've lived and the life you still want to live. Because aging doesn't have to mean losing yourself. It can mean deepening into who you are, with grace, dignity, and energy to spare. So today, I'm not here to sell you anything. No magic potions, no expensive powders. Just 4 drinks you should be drinking, starting today, to support your health, your mind, and your independence. And 4 others that may be doing more harm than you realize. Let's take this step together. Slowly, thoughtfully, and with the kind of care you deserve. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I met a woman named Evelyn. She was 72 when we first spoke. Sharp-minded, kind-hearted, but tired. So tired, she said, that some mornings she'd sit at the edge of her bed for 10 minutes, just mustering the energy to stand up. She thought it was just age. That's what her doctor told her. It happens, he said with a shrug. But Evelyn didn't want to accept that. Not yet. So she started asking questions, not about pills or procedures, but about food, about drink, about the things we take for granted every day. And slowly, something changed. She swapped out sugary drinks for warm lemon water. added a little ginger to her morning tea, drank more broth, less soda. Within weeks, her energy shifted. Her joints felt lighter. She wasn't suddenly 30 again, but she felt like herself again. And here's what Evelyn realized. Sometimes, the difference between feeling old and feeling strong isn't in a pharmacy. It's in your pantry. Because fatigue? It's not always age. Sometimes it's dehydration, or inflammation, or a quiet deficiency your body has been whispering about for years. Stiff joints? They might not be breaking down. They might just be begging for nourishment, for collagen, for hydration, for anti-inflammatory support. And that foggy thinking? The forgetfulness. Often, it's not a sign of decline. It's a signal that your brain is thirsty for nutrients and clarity. So as we move forward together, I want you to keep one thing in mind. What if aging gracefully isn't about slowing down, but about fueling up the right way? Because the truth is, many of the symptoms we chalk up to getting older can actually be softened, even reversed with the right choices. And now, let's dive into the heart of this journey. The 4 drinks that can truly support your health, vitality, and independence. Starting today. Let's talk about something we often take for granted, but deeply shapes how we feel every single day. Nutrition. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I've been eating for 70-something years. Isn't it too late to change anything now? But here's the beautiful truth. It's never too late to nourish your body, and by doing so, nourish your life. Think of your body like a garden. When you were younger, you could plant just about anything, and it would grow strong. But as time passes, the soil changes. It needs more care, more attention, different nutrients. If you keep giving it the same thing, even if it once worked, you might find the blooms are fewer, the leaves are duller, and the roots aren't as deep. That's exactly what happens inside us as we age. Your nutritional needs shift. Your metabolism slows. Your cells ask for different kinds of fuel. And yet, many of us keep eating and drinking the same way we did when we were 50 or 40 or younger. And then we wonder why we feel tired, why our joints ache, why our memory feels foggy. Have you ever felt like this? You eat something you used to love, maybe a sandwich, a sweet coffee drink, or a sugary snack, and instead of feeling energized, you feel sluggish, or worse, inflamed. Like your body is gently rebelling against what used to bring joy. This isn't weakness. This is wisdom. Your body trying to tell you something important? Because after 70, food isn't just food anymore. It's medicine. Every bite, every sip, what you choose to consume can either support your strength, clarity, and independence, or quietly chip away at them. That's why today's conversation about drinks is so powerful. Because what you pour into your body can hydrate, heal, protect, and energize you in ways you may not have considered. So let's go deeper. Let's explore the first of 4 drinks you absolutely must have after 65. One that might just become your new daily ritual. Let's talk about something that doesn't show up on a blood test, but still lives in your body every single day. Your heart, not just the organ, but the emotional center of who you are, carries more than you might realize. Have you ever noticed how your body feels when you're truly at peace? When you're surrounded by love, when laughter comes easily, when you feel seen and understood. Now think about the opposite. How does your body respond when you're lonely? When the house is too quiet? When conversations have become rare and silence has grown heavy? You might notice it in your chest or your stomach. Your sleep might change. You might feel more tired, more achy, even if nothing else has changed in your routine. Because here's what science is now confirming, what many of us have always known in our bones. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. It's a stressor, and it affects your entire body. It raises inflammation. It weakens immunity. It strains your heart. And over time, it can make you feel older than you really are. I once met a man named Henry. He was 76, lived alone after losing his wife, and had started skipping meals, not because he wasn't hungry, but because eating alone felt like a reminder of what he'd lost. He came to me asking about energy, about digestion, about fatigue. But as we talked, I realized what he really needed wasn't a new diet, it was connection. A reason to eat, a reason to feel nourished beyond food. So we started small. He joined a senior lunch group twice a week. He began volunteering at a local library. Slowly, joy returned. Not all at once, but in moments. And with it, so did his strength. Because here's the truth. Health isn't just about what you put in your mouth. It's also about what fills your soul. And as we continue this journey together, remember this. Your emotions matter. They shape your body. They influence your healing. And they deserve care, just like everything else. Now, let's return to the drinks that can help support not only your body, but your spirit. Starting with the first one that could become your most powerful ally. So let's talk about something powerful, not because it's dramatic or difficult, but because it's doable. Change doesn't always come from big sweeping gestures. Sometimes, the most meaningful shifts begin with one small step, one tiny habit, one quiet decision to care a little more. For yourself, think about your morning. How does it begin? With a rush, a groggy stretch, or maybe with a moment just for you, a cup of tea, a few deep breaths, sunlight touching your face? Because how your day starts often sets the tone for everything else. What if I told you that just 3 things, simple, gentle, and easy to remember, could help you feel more balanced, energized, and calm throughout your day? First, start with warmth. Whether it's a warm drink, a warm towel on your shoulders, or even just warm thoughts. Warmth wakes up the body gently. It tells your muscles it's safe to relax. It tells your mind it's okay to begin again. Second, move with intention. Not intense exercise, just movement. A few stretches, a short walk around the block, even sitting up straighter as you sip your coffee. These small acts remind your body that it still belongs to you. Third, hydrate with purpose. Before coffee, before juice, just water. A glass first thing in the morning helps flush out toxins, wake up your metabolism, and prepare your body to absorb all the good things you'll give it throughout the day. These aren't rules. They're invitations. So I want to ask you now, not what can you change forever, but what's one small thing you could try this week? Maybe it's drinking a warm lemon water first thing in the morning. Maybe it's sipping a nourishing herbal tea before bed. Maybe it's simply pausing before you eat, taking a breath, giving thanks, and reminding yourself that this moment matters. Because when we start to care for ourselves in small daily ways, we begin to feel like ourselves again. And that's where true vitality begins. As we grow older, something shifts inside us. The noise of life begins to settle. The rush of youth fades into memory. And in its place comes something quieter, something deeper. You start to ask different questions, not just, what have I done? But, what did it all mean? And that's where purpose begins, not in grand achievements, but in small moments of meaning. In the way you hold someone's hand, in the wisdom you pass down, in the peace you choose to carry, even when life feels uncertain. Because here's what many people don't talk about. Aging well isn't just about your body. It's also about your spirit. When you feel connected to yourself, to others, to the world around you, something inside you heals. Your heart beats steadier. Your mind feels clearer. Even pain can feel lighter when it's wrapped in love. I once met a woman named Mabel. She was 81, sharp as a tack, but lonely. Her children lived far away. Her husband had passed, and she told me she felt like she'd lost her reason for getting up in the morning. So we talked. And one day I asked her, if there was one thing you could do each day that made you feel needed, what would it be? Without hesitation, she said, "I'd teach kids how to read." So she started volunteering at a local library, just 2 hours a week. And within months, something changed. Not just in the children she helped, but in her. Her posture straightened. Her eyes sparkled again. She began drinking more water, eating slower, sleeping better. Not because she was trying harder, but because she finally had a reason to care. That's the power of purpose. Because when you feel needed, you remember that you matter. When you give love, you receive it back tenfold. And when you find joy, even in the smallest things, you begin to age not just gracefully, but beautifully. So I want to leave you with this question. What do you want the next chapter of your life to feel like? Because it's still yours to write. And now let's return to the drinks that can help support this new chapter, starting with the first one that may become your most powerful ally. You've made it this far, and just by being here, by listening, by learning, by caring, you've already taken one of the most powerful steps toward a better tomorrow. Because aging doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing what matters. It means honoring your body, your mind, and your spirit. Not despite the years, but because of them. You are not too old. You are not done yet. Your body still listens when you care for it. Your heart still beats with purpose. And your story? It's far from over. Think back to where we began. The morning stiffness, the quiet questions, the wondering if you'll get to enjoy life the way you once did. Now imagine something different. Imagine waking up with more energy than yesterday. Imagine moving through your day without pain holding you back. Imagine sitting at the table with family, laughing, sipping something warm and nourishing, knowing that every sip is helping you feel stronger, clearer, more like you. That's not wishful thinking. That's the power of small, intentional choices. The drinks we've talked about today aren't magic potions, they're invitations. Invitations to slow down the decline, to reduce inflammation, to protect your memory, and to give your body the love it deserves. And the best part? You don't have to change everything at once. Start with one drink, one new habit, one moment of self-care each day. Because even small steps, taken with intention, lead to big changes. So take a deep breath. You are still growing, still healing, still becoming. This is your time. Start now, even if it's slow. Every step, every choice, every sip is still yours. Before you go, I want to invite you into a quiet moment, just between us. Pause for a second. Take a deep breath. Let everything settle. Now ask yourself, what was one thing that made me think differently today? Maybe it was realizing how much your body still listens when you give it what it needs. Maybe it was the idea that fatigue isn't always age. It might be something as simple as hydration. Or maybe it was the story of someone like you, someone who decided enough was enough and chose to care a little more. Whatever it was, hold on to it, because awareness is the first step. And now that you're here, you've already begun to change. So, I want to leave you with this final question. What small change will you try starting tomorrow morning? Will you make that warm lemon water part of your routine? Try swapping out a sugary drink for something nourishing? Will you share this video with a friend? Someone who also wants to feel stronger, healthier, and more like themselves? You don't have to do it all at once. Just one step. That's enough. And if this resonated with you, if even one word landed exactly where it needed to, then I hope you'll hit that subscribe button. Because this channel is more than videos. It's a community. A place where wisdom meets care. Where experience meets support. And where every viewer matters. We're walking this path together. So thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to show up for yourself. And remember, it's never too late to start again.